Alright, so we're live now. This is mainly going to be a short, mini episode of INDYCAR, but as I talked about yesterday on the episode of INDYCAR has a major marketing and viewership problem, especially when your second most important race can't even bring in 500,000 viewers. I get it was on USA behind the paywall, but unlike everyone else that complains about INDYCAR viewership and marketing, I wrote down a list of ideas. I want to throw out my ideas on there. I'm going to make sure I have this. I'm going to clip this. I want to make sure I have it clipped and recorded. I want to make sure I save this, have this save replay. But I wrote down a list. I want to make sure I have this list saved, get this replay going. And yes, these are just my ideas. One, you already got Zach Brown joining the IndyCar marketing task force, figure out how to market better. Michael Andretti said it during St. Petersburg. You have IndyCar's a diamond in the rough if you market it right. Or I was talking without my mic on. I know. I apologize, but as I was saying, I want to talk about IndyCar viewership and marketing. Where, unlike most people, where they complain about IndyCar's viewership and IndyCar's marketing, I'm going to throw out my ideas. I wrote down a nice little list last night of different ideas on what they could do to help. Because basically, if IndyCar ain't marketing well, at least I wrote down some ideas on how they can market well. Because if they lose the NBC sponsorship, lose the NBC deal, that's going to end up being what kills the series. First off, like I said yesterday, you got Zach Brown joining the IndyCar marketing task force. Michael Andretti kind of said it best, where I'm going to stop and make sure I got this recorded. Let's stop this. Let's go ahead and start this. You got Zach Brown joining the IndyCar marketing task force. Michael Andretti said it best. If Penske's not going to market it, sell the series, and basically said IndyCar is a diamond in the rough if you market and replay it right, market it and promote it right. Why not have not just Zach Brown, but why not reach out to Michael Andretti see if he has different ideas? From the outside look of it, he may have some ideas out there. Why not reach out to Michael Andretti too, as well as why not have Michael Andretti join the marketing task force, see if he can help as well? Another big thing I want to talk about: you need IndyCar drivers in commercials. This is just me saying it again. You need IndyCar drivers doing commercials. Right now, the only commercial I've seen an IndyCar driver or team or anyone in is a Shell commercial with Joseph Newgarden. Two of your biggest marketable characters, drivers, have two of the biggest sponsors. You got Will Power with Verizon and Scott Dixon with PNC Bank. PNC has these commercials saying they did the boring work. You're telling me you can't get Scott Dixon to come into PNC? I don't know what their schedules look like, but you're telling me you can't get Scott Dixon to come into PNC to shoot say one or two lines in the commercial and go? You're telling me Verizon makes all these different commercials and you can't get Will Power, one of the best characters and best drivers in the series? You're telling me you can't get Will Power to come in, say a line for a Verizon commercial, and leave? You're telling me that can't happen? Two of your biggest drivers, biggest sponsors. That's how you fix it. That's how you can get some potential viewers. These next two go hand in hand. That I want to talk about and how they can fix it is mainly get some collaborations with different things and put bumpers during other events. Like for me, instantly, I'm an IndyCar fan. I also watch WWE and wrestling. They're both on Peacock, both NBC USA Network provide the commentary and viewership for it. Uh, just saying this much. David Lane did an interview back a couple years ago at Texas. He ended up interviewing Ray Mysterio, the Hall of Famer, Mr. 619, during his 2022 Texas review. You're telling me you can't get, and this is an easy example. IndyCar Series, their season ends September 15th. 2 weeks later, Monday Night Raw is in Evansville, Indiana. You're telling me he can't get one or two drivers go out to there, and you can't have someone from IndyCar reach out to Triple H He was the new content officer for WWE. You're telling me you can't do that, have a little storyline? I've even wrote this, for example. Let's say Scott Dixon wins his 7th championship. Scott Dixon, he's the best IndyCar driver in the world. You're telling me you can't do a little segment with CM Punk, who in wrestling he calls himself the best in the world? You're telling me you can't get him to do a little segment with CM Punk or WWE? They're both Peacock entities. You're telling me you can't get them to do a little segment? That's just my idea. I mean, that's an easy way to get some viewership because there is a strong connection between IndyCar fans, WWE fans, and if you connect them together, you can get some more viewership. And speaking with WWE, your biggest, most marketable driver, Joseph Newgarden, he looks like the current WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes. Let me pull up the picture. See, here's Joseph Newgarden, and here's Cody. Here's the current WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes. They both have blonde hair. They both look alike. You're telling me you can't do something with that? Come on. They're both Peacock, USA, NBC entities now. They both broadcast on the same network. That's a good marketing event. That's a good way to market to your fans and potentially bring in more fans if you do something fun with Joseph Newgarden and Cody Rhodes. I mean, it's not hard. I have different ideas. There's these different ideas I threw out there. Those should go hand in hand. Another one is bumpers. NBC has different sporting events, whether it's golf, Monday Night Raw, football. Like I said, you're telling me you can't produce like a small bumper to put on during different programs? I know Fox does it with different football games, SmackDown. They have a little NASCAR bumper come on, telling them when the next race is. I haven't seen it with Monday Night Raw, but you're telling me I will even. This is me throwing this out there. I will make a bumper for NBC and IndyCar if they want me to. I will make them a bumper that they can promote on Monday Night Raw. That's how you get some fans is do a little bumper between events or different things on the network. That's a way to get some viewership. You're telling me you can't throw up a little bumper? It's not hard. Even I can whip up a bumper in like half an hour if y'all wanted me to, IndyCar. This one kind of ticked me off, but you gotta have some influencers on the track because IndyCar does not need to rely on just having the Today Show and not promoting. And that also goes with promoting on social media as well. Like IndyCar's main account, then the NBC account will promote like maybe two times during race week. You gotta promote more. It, most people don't know there's a race going on if you're not promoting it. That's one thing you gotta do is you gotta learn how to promote more, or have someone that you work with promote the race more. If you're not promoting it, you're not gonna get viewers. You gotta promote the series and promote the race more. That's the only way you can. That's a major way you can get some more viewers. If you're not promoting it, it's y'all's fault that no one's watching it because no one knows when the race is. Like I heard some people on Twitter on Long Beach talking about they didn't know there was a race because no one said anything. That's a big thing. And going back to the influencer point, influencers at the track are doing some content. I saw this on the mailbag. There was one guy who has like 36 million followers. He reached out to both IndyCar and IMSA. Wasn't asking to get paid or anything. He was just asking if he could get like a credential and do some content in the garage. I mean, it's I you get them the you give them a credential, let them do some fun, have some fun events in the garage. Let them do some fun events in the garage, get some viewers, especially if they have 36,000 followers. And like IndyCar didn't even reach out to them. And then like IMSA gave them an email back within the hour. That's a big fumble. I get you may not like the influencer that's doing it. You may not be a fan of whoever's doing it or whoever isn't doing it, but you got 36 million followers. That's an influencer at the track. They may have some fans that don't know what IndyCar is, and if they're filming some content, their fans might be interested and it gets more viewership and markets the series better. Speaking of other influencers, I know some guy, or I don't know him, but I could help you reach out to some YouTubers, some different people specifically in Monterey and Laguna Seca. There's a couple people, couple YouTubers I watch have roughly about 2 million, almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube. I could help you reach out to them, get them to do some content at the track, help get some viewership, help get some new fans. You gotta be able to collab with some different influencers, and you gotta be able to promote the series. And another big thing I want to say is don't put the marquee events behind paywall and cable. I get it. Long Beach, you couldn't get NBC was broadcasting golf. I get that, but you have a month break between Thermal and Long Beach, and you're telling me you couldn't figure out a different date so that way the between Long Beach and the broadcast couldn't be on, so the broadcast could be on big NBC. Long Beach is the second biggest race on NBC, or second biggest race in IndyCar schedule, and you're putting it on cable or behind the paywall. That's not it. The next major thing I want to talk about is don't criticize the fans that you have now, or don't criticize fans of different drivers. That's how you lose the ones you have right now. That's how you're going to lose fans instead of gaining them. For instance, I already did this at Thermal where Connor Daly was calling out people saying, if you're not a real fan. I called him out on that. He took credibility. Gonna go over that. But you don't need to call it the fans. If you're calling out your current fans, that's how you're going to lose viewership, and then losing viewership is going to lead to losing sponsors. Losing sponsors means losing teams in the series. Losing teams means losing engine manufacturers, and then all of a sudden you don't have a series anymore. Don't criticize your fans, and especially if you're working in the media. Don't criticize fans of a certain driver because I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. There was one reporter talking crap to Joseph Newgarden fans because Joseph Newgarden hasn't talked about the St. Pete incident. But here's the thing: Joseph Newgarden doesn't follow anyone on Twitter. He probably ain't even on Twitter or any social media anymore. Don't call out the fans. If you have a personal beef with a driver, don't get mad at their fans. And don't do it. Media's supposed to be unbiased. Come on. My last thing also goes with collaboration. This is my idea mainly. Get drivers and different owners to go on different TV shows. I get the Indy 500 winner goes on the Today Show after winning the race, but Today Show, that's not it. Pat McAfee has one of the biggest shows on ESPN. He was talking about IndyCar yesterday with the Penske fiasco. He's one of the biggest names in Indianapolis. Why not reach out to Pat McAfee and ESPN and see if you can get whoever wins the Indy 500 to come on Pat McAfee the week after? Or Doug Bulls, whoever runs IMS, why not reach out to Pat McAfee during the month of May and see if he wants to do a live show at the Speedway? He did live shows during different places during WrestleMania. You're gonna get a Pat McAfee. He draws a pretty dang decent, pretty good, decently sized crowd. Get him to do a live show at the 500 somewhere. He'll bring out a good crowd. He brings out a good crowd. You get potentially new fans. Maybe fans will want to buy tickets to the Indy 500. I mean, come on. These are just my ideas. You could take one and run with it, and it could probably bring more viewers. My main things are get some drivers to do commercials like Will Power, Scott Dixon. They have two of the biggest brands of the series. Why not have them do a commercial with them? Get some collaborations or get drivers or owners to go on different shows. Like had the 500 winner come on the Pat McAfee show. I'm sure someone could reach out to him. I'm sure Pat McAfee would be down. He was talking about IndyCar yesterday with the Penske cheat and stuff. Or why not have Doug Bulls or someone at the IMS Speedway? Like I said, reach out to Pat McAfee, see if he wants to potentially do a live show there. He does a live show, you can sell tickets. That brings in more fans, and it might bring in more tickets to the Indy 500. Might bring in more tickets to next year's Indy 500 if you get Pat McAfee's one of the biggest names in Indiana. If you get him to come do a live show at the Speedway, sell some tickets, he does a show, you're going to get more viewers. And new collaborations, like I said, with Monday Night Raw being in Evansville 2 weeks after the season ends. If Scott Dixon was a championship, why not do a little gimmick with WWE? Reach out to Triple H, reach out to someone at WWE, see if y'all can do a fun little gimmick. Y'all are both on Peacock. I mean, come on. It's not hard. Worst that can happen is it doesn't happen and you go to different ideas. But the main thing is make your drivers more marketable. Let them do more stuff on social media. If you got drivers doing more stuff on social media, if you're posting more on social media, you're gonna get more fans. You're gonna get more ticket sales. You're gonna get better ratings. I mean, it's not hard. Those are just my ideas. I know it sounds like a rambling 15-minute session. Well, let's go ahead and say this. I'm gonna sign off for now. Go ahead and send me your ideas on Twitter at HJCarpsKRP29 of different ideas for an INDYCAR to market better. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. I'm going to save this recording. I'll see y'all next time.